Every time we get one thing right, something go wrong. You're breaking up.
Okay, well, okay, we're going live now. Hopefully it works through. Okay, perfect. 1 second. Okay, great. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast this evening. We have a magnificent guest with us today, one who's going to give us some amazing information as well as inspiration, and that is none other than Sister Minister Patricia Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, ma'am.
Alaikum salam, sir. How are you?
Excellent, ma'am. Excellent, ma'am. And this is an extreme honor. So I want to thank you on behalf of myself, my family, and the viewing audience of the People's Podcast for taking time out of your busy schedule to come on to the People's Podcast, ma'am. Assalamu alaikum. And I'll make sure I give you the greetings again. Assalamu alaikum again.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Well, the first question that we want to know, ma'am, is when did you first hear the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad?
1981, really, but I heard it 1978, 79, before I joined the nation in 1981.
Yes, ma'am. And what was it that made you want to join the Nation of Islam?
First of all, before I knew the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, I was working in Mississippi Rural Legal Services as a paralegal, and he came to Holly Springs, and we had gone to lunch, some of my coworkers and I. And when I returned to my office, sitting in the library where most of the time I would spend looking up different things for the lawyers, and I saw this man sitting in the back with one brother standing by his side. And I went back up front and asked some of the secretaries and other workers, who was that man sitting back there in the library? And they said, some of them said, I don't know. Some said, I think it's somebody called Farrakhan. So of course, I go back to the back. What was so amazing about it, he was just sitting there, and I think at that time he was waiting on Alfred Skip Robinson, as that, he was known back then, a community activist, and later on became our minister, Abdul Aziz Muhammad. And so that was the first time I had laid eyes on the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Something very special about this brother, because the way he was sitting is what drew my attention. Not normally how most men would sit, legs crossed and leaning back, just straight, smiled at us and nodded. And that was the beginning of getting to know him. And after meeting with, I'm going to say Minister Aziz, he became Minister Aziz probably 2 years later. And so I would go to work and see Brother Aziz at his office across from where Legal Services office was. And he told me that he had started having meetings in his office. And when I started coming out, of course I said, yes, sir, didn't know what it was about. And my mother had gone to several other meetings and came home. So about 4 weeks later, she asked me to drive her back to Holly Springs to a meeting that Skip Robinson was having. And she couldn't quite understand what it was. And he said that Jesus was Black, God was Black. So, that was my curiosity. It stirred up. And I didn't mind taking her back to the meeting, and I did. And that was the beginning of my journey 40 years later in the Nation of Islam.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, ma'am. Beautiful. And my sister Miriam sends the greetings, and so many people on Facebook showing you love. Thank you all for continuing to show Sister Minister love. So how did your family and friends feel about you accepting the teachings?
My mother was excited that I had gone with her, and my journey started from that day. She never went back to a meeting, but she went to the first Sages Day with us, 1981. She went back to that meeting with us. A lot of our family lives in Chicago. My father, of course, was a little skeptical. The rest of my family thought I had lost my mind. But my 15-year-old baby brother, 15 years old, but he seemed to have a attitude or insight of a 50-year-old. He went to the meeting with me that night, and of course, he joined when I did. And so the rest of the family, another sister joined about 2 years later. Now, everybody in the family of my siblings, out of 10 of us, most of us don't eat pork. And so if nothing else, they got that from me and from the minister's teachings, of course. And 40 years later, most of my family, if you ask them their religion, they'll say, ask Trish, which is mean Patricia. But my sister, I'm 6 years older than her. She's with me. All of my children was under the age of 15 when I joined, 4 children, and they all became members of the Nation of Islam. They're not all active now, but they call themselves Muslims, so I agree with that. And Sister Tina, of course, is still with me. Yes. And Brother Clarence, her husband, and my sister. So we're all still active. And the children that is no longer with us, I lost a daughter in 2014 to gun violence, and she was registered. My oldest daughter is still helping us, and she's trying to come back. So we're all doing good. We're doing wonderful by the grace of Allah with what we know, and we know we're in the right place. We came in at the right time. I met the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and just his way of his persona, it was just, I'd never seen a man in that kind of, just not, I have no words to explain the feeling except that it was the right thing to do after meeting him. And he didn't say anything to any of us at that time. I think they had a interview with Channel 3 or 13 in Memphis, Tennessee. And Jesse Jackson, if I'm not mistaken, was coming in. So that meeting was about something that was happening in the state at the time that I was not familiar with, because I only moved back home from Chicago in Aurora, Illinois in 1976. I moved back to Mississippi. And we met the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan in the year 1978.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. Excellent. And I want to make sure I thank you, Sister Minister, on behalf of myself, my family, and the viewing audience of the People's Podcast for your sacrifice and the sacrifice of your family. We thank Allah for you all and your sacrifice. May Allah bless you all. Continue to bless you all. Here we go. My next question for you.
Thank you so much. Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. My next question for you is, how did you become Sister Minister Patricia? How did you get into the ministry and become a minister?
Wow. Okay. The year 1998, I had an episode, and they said with an onset of a stroke, and I was recuperating from that. And Sister Minister Ava Muhammad was the regional minister, first female regional minister ever. And Brother Rockman, Brother Captain Curtis, all of the laborers was at a meeting that I was unable to make. I wasn't in the post at the time, of course. I was the MGT captain. And my brother that I was speaking about earlier, this 15-year-old, he was our student minister at the time. and he didn't make the meeting. So Sister Ava called me and said she had all the laborers around her that time, and she wanted to take post for 30 days. And of course, recuperating, I told her she knew what was going on. And I, for some reason, I had had a very bad day, a very, very bad day. And I hate to say this, but I was at the point of where I wanted to give up on life. And Allah is my witness to this. I had said my 3 o'clock prayer, got back in my recliner and asked Allah, if this is what is meant for me, you know, this illness that I had, then, you know, let me know now what to do, what do I do? And after that prayer and getting back in my recliner, Sister Ava called and she said, all of the laborers are around me now and I need some help. Would you please help me if you can? I need to ask you a question. And she did. Would you help me for the next 30 days? Because I had asked her for how long, and that's what she said. And I said, oh, yes, ma'am, I can do that. She said, well, I want you to teach. Just on Sundays for now, if you can do that. And that 30 days turned into 20 years. Yes, sir.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
That's amazing. Okay, now also
Yes.
Sister Captain Brenda sends you the greetings. So many people are showing you love on Facebook. Sister Clarion says Assalamu alaikum from Kingston, Jamaica. And thank everyone who continues to watch the People's Podcast from all over the world. Okay, so
Wow. Thank you.
what you being a sister minister, but a sister in the ministry, what was it like being a woman in leadership? How was that? How was that?
At first, very frightening. Didn't know what to do most of the time. But Brother Lucius Biard from Huntsville, Alabama, if I'm not mistaken, Huntsville, he had, I don't know if it was, I can't remember what year it was, but he came and we had a snowstorm and he spoke to us, I think that Friday night. So it kind of made me want to be more help to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan than I was. I didn't think I was doing anything so magnificent or great. And I really thought I was holding that post for 30 days. And when I saw that I was going to remain in it for a while, and it was always like I was waiting to be replaced, you know, by a brother. And I just decided that as a woman, I would just continue to help the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, thereby helping Sister time. Saved my life. What am I to do now? Because I didn't want to take that helicopter ride back to the hospital because they had said if I had gone by ambulance, I would not have made it. And I can say this to know, I didn't know I was in that kind of danger that morning. I had awakened to do my early morning prayer, Father prayer, and this, and I just did not think, I never thought I wasn't going to make it. I just said, Allah, you have me now, so what do I do? What do I do now? And so after that, I just kept having different kinds of fighting with myself. What do I do? A woman minister, that means I have to keep teaching. So people started inviting me to their churches, and at that time, the minister had told us we could go back to church. You know, we had to come out for a while for the teachings to kind of get more knowledge before we start teaching someone else. So I started out at Russ College in Holly Springs with How to Eat to Live. And I knew I couldn't go wrong with how to eat to live. I knew I couldn't go wrong with how to eat to live. I was teaching that as an MGT captain, so I knew so much about how to eat to live and was definitely living it. I was living how to eat to live. So I started teaching that at Russ College to sisters on a Thursday night. And then it was only sisters, I think then we went co-ed because the brothers wanted to know what were we talking about. So that made me want to just keep teaching if I did nothing else, but teach how to eat, live, to all of them back that today, just like it was yesterday, just getting started. So I thank Allah for that kind of spirit, to let the sisters know that one meal a day will not kill you. So it was taking me out, but one of my main things, I had a lot of headaches. And I didn't think about the pork at the time that we were eating. And that's how we made it. You know, we raised hogs and had cows and donkeys. They were out, our land, our farm. We were not on a plantation owned by the Caucasians. So I picked up a lot of energy and spirit from my sisters, who thought it was magnificent that a sister in the Nation of Islam, well, put it this way, they said, could make them want to join and wear the type of clothing that we were wearing at the time. And I thought that was a beautiful thing. I thought that was a beautiful thing, because they said, you all wear it well, not like they used to. You know, I couldn't comment on anything, but the times have changed. Yes, yes. You don't want us in the 80s dressing like we did in the 40s and 50s. You know, that's just not. So yeah, we were a lot of, the pioneers were for us when I joined. That's what we became for this generation now, 40 years later. And I said, we were like the pioneers, except to me, they were more disciplined. And I have to be honest, they were more disciplined. So we were trying to live up to that standard that they set for us, not to let them down, because some of those sisters and brothers are still with us, physically alive and well and doing well. So I thank Allah for all of them that opened that door for me to come through. Some are back with Allah, may He be pleased with them, and some are still with us. And every Saturday mornings, you know, when you're hearing from some of the pioneers, and I said, now I am one of them. I cannot believe this. I am a pioneer. So I'm grateful to be alive and in the best of health I've been in so long. So I thank Allah for the trials to come, and those that have gone by me. And I made it through for another one. And thank God for our study guide, the struggle for books. And when we're born, you know, struggle, it's good struggle and know that Allah got your back, and He'll bring you back every time, every time. And you can't get ahead of Him. That's one thing you cannot do, is get ahead of Allah. You get ahead of Him, not gonna work. So the Elijah Muhammad taught us well, even before we knew that the Elijah Muhammad was alive. And 3 years into this, we find out that he's alive and well. And this is just the thing that happens to us when we let go and let God. Everything falls into place. Every trial, you don't look to die, you look to live and say, Allah, if it be your will, then this is what we'll do. This is what I have to do. So I'm thankful, Brother Joshua, to be alive in this time. I was born at the right time. Because we used to say, I wish I had been back, you know, when he first started, but it wasn't for us then. He wasn't born, some was. So the time that we came in, I say it's the right time.
Yes, ma'am. Praise be to Allah, beautiful. And Sister Hazel says, beautiful teaching. Sister Captain Brenda says, you are a beautiful example, my sister. My sister Naima sends her greetings. Sister Astranda X Gary says, beautiful. Praise be to Allah.
Oh my God.
Now,
to Allah.
Yes, ma'am. Now, Sister Minister, there was a lecture that my mother especially would always have playing at the house with where the minister was speaking in Mississippi, and he was calling down the wrath of Allah because of what was a murder of a brother in Mississippi. What was it like during that time period, and what was it like for you being a believer during that time period?
Okay, I can't quite make out what you just said. Something about teaching in Mississippi, and your mother used to listen to those tapes.
Yes, ma'am.
I couldn't get the rest.
Okay, we got to get this. The Wi-Fi situation is going on in Mississippi right now, but there was a lecture where the minister was calling for the wrath of Allah in Mississippi. What was it like for you to be there and to experience that?
Oh my God, just to notice that it happened soon after he said it. Soon after he said it. I don't think he had made it to the airport before the floodgates opened, but I know by the time he got home, it had happened. As soon as he said that, it happened. There was storms and floods. It was just, it just happened. And for the doubters that said, oh, he gets that from the Bible, he knows that it's going to be destruction, or this is going to happen. Well, the Bible didn't say it was going to happen in Jackson, Mississippi, Byhalia, Mississippi. It didn't say Tunica. It didn't name places. So when he named those places that it was going to happen and why, then now we know that the minister is being taught right now by the Mahdi, by the Messiah. We know why it is happening, and he just predicts, just when it's going to happen. Let me get out of here because this is going to happen, ABC, this is going to happen, and it happens. So there's no need of anyone saying that Minister Farrakhan is not. You can't, if you say that, you're not listening to him. You don't hear him, you enjoy him yelling or talking about somebody else, not yelling, but raising his voice, talking about, but really Satan's job is to make devils. And so he has made us so well that we can be called sometimes the children of Satan. But we know that Allah did not come to kill us. He came to save us, to teach us how to get out of Satan's grip. So when he tells you something is going to happen, it happens. And if he tells you something, I should listen, we should listen. And wherever he tells you not to go, we shouldn't go. And that is not a dictatorship. You would not go to the store and buy a bottle of hair dye, go home and just start putting it in your head or your hair like you would do shampoo. You read directions. So when he gives you directions, take them. Because everything he has said, Satan cannot make this man out of a liar. So stop trying. Listen, and obey. And that's how we make it through COVID-19, the variants that we're having now. Pestilence from heaven. Yes, it is. So I thank Allah for being able to obey. And so not the martyrs, we thank him too, because it could have been me. So now I know why, Brother Joshua, I'm asked a lot. How do you know why Allah or Jesus past an example of what I teach. I don't know, I tell you I don't know. And my nervousness now is kind of subsiding, so I'm okay. You're always planning what you're gonna say, and then you let Allah do the rest, and that's it. Whatever He has for you to say, we say it, and we thank Allah for being able to speak and act the way Allah has asked of us to do. So I thank Him for my classes. I thank Him for your father, Lord God, have mercy, for putting up with me all these years. I have known him for so long, Brother Joshua. At another time, I can tell you how many times I have called on your father, Brother Minister Sharif, our regional minister. He has taught me so much patience, love, and especially patience. Never raised his voice. If I ask for something, I got it. And that's what I can thank him for today. He had made me his regional assistant at one time. And I didn't even know what that was about. And I have to thank him for, and he knows exactly what we're talking about when I say this. Some of the sisters and I, the laborers, had gotten in a little bit of trouble by being late for a meeting. And he would always step up and let them know we were new to this, and we didn't quite understand, or we didn't know where we were going at the time. We got lost or whatever, going to a meeting, so we were late. But he always helped us out. He has never turned his back on me. So now I know I have atoned to him for being a little girl, not grown up enough to know. But he never, ever disrespected any of us. And he had to let, I guess, the region know and others that he was like the minister in this sense. This man, he loved women the way a father would love someone taking care of his daughter. Never said a word out of place to us, always there for us. And he has been the best, one of the best, if not the best that I know of obeying the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and getting the staff up, because he knows from the side. And I feel like no one else could have done a better job than Brother Sharif. No one. When ministers say something, when he asks the ministers to do something, that's the first minister that I know of. He always step out first, always. So that was inspiring to me also, to be able to help Brother Sharif to be where he is today. Whatever I did, whatever small thing I did, whatever good deed I may have done to help him, I'm thankful to Allah that he let me help. He never said, you're a woman and you can't do it. He think the same thing about any woman that want to be in this work. Sister Zarifa would be one. She's a minister in the ministry class now. And I thank Allah for all of the women that stands up. Young, middle-aged, because there are no old folks in the Nation of Islam. I'll just let y'all know that. There are no old folks. At 71, I'm still 35, so that's how I feel. Now, how I look is totally different. I just know how I feel, so I thank Allah for knowing that type. At my age, I used to dread getting old. Don't worry about that number. Don't let the number get you down. Just take Allah and do what you can with what you got. There are no old people. Some older people in the Nation of Islam, but there are no old people in the nation.
Praise be to Allah. Excellent. Yes, ma'am. And you getting so much love, Sister Minister, in the comments.
Okay.
My next question for you is, you said you were from Aurora. I grew up in Naperville, we played against Aurora, very close to Aurora as well. But being in the North, growing up in the North, I always was nervous and worried about Mississippi and Alabama because of the Ku Klux Klan and all of these movies that I saw. You being a Black woman teaching the teachers of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad in Mississippi, were you ever afraid? And if so, how did you overcome that fear?
Okay, now it was going in and out, but was I ever afraid of the Ku Klux Klan and something like that is what you asked?
Yes, ma'am.
Brother Joshua, there was no time in my life that I've ever been afraid of the Ku Klux Klan, thanks to my mother, first of all. My mother taught us not to be afraid. Yes, sir. Praises are due to Allah. Never to be afraid of people because of the color of their skin. And she said, a white man. Never be afraid of them because they are some scared ends. She called them what they called us. That's how she called it. Yes, I mean, Black folks wasn't the N-word. Caucasians were the N-word to my mom. So she said, if when you get on that bus, school bus, and they want to fight and spit and attack, there were so many of us, my siblings, she said, fight like hell. And then come home and tell me. She said, if you come home, you know. I'm sorry, a cracker, whip your behind, and she didn't whip us. Now, that's one thing my mother never done. She didn't whip us. She just made you think she would throw a shoe or broomology, the minister slapology or something like that. But my mom never whipped any of us. But she was out there as a community activist. We boycotted, we closed down stores. We opened up doors and stores for people of color to work in. And so to Shannon, Mississippi, all over Mississippi, running Brother Joshua to the Klan. So whenever we to a place like Tupelo or Shannon, any places that we went to boycott to get jobs for Blacks at banks, which Brother Aziz opened the doors. But he would tell us what we were always taught: never attack anyone unless they come after you. Never start a fight, but always be ready to finish one. So we were there for that reason. Of course, at that time, yes, sir, we had guns. I didn't. My mother had, we called her, I guess, Muddy at the time because she always had a 28, 45. The last thing I remember her carrying in her purse. Yes, she was an usher at the church, but she came prepared.
Allahu Akbar.
Yes, sir. And back at that time, I think we thought we needed them. But I know at that time, believing in Jesus, that was our backup. He would take care of us. So we did meet them coming over the hills in their trucks with, it looked like machine guns, but they was attached to the back of the trucks. And all you could hear coming over the hills were in, run, telling them, soften it up with Negroes, run, but they were using the other word. And we never ran. We just ran to them to let them know we were not afraid. But we did one time tell them, why don't you go home and wash those sheets before you put your head in them, we did. And my son always said, I love the one that I had, and hopefully I would be able to find these pictures. Can the Klan. That was my favorite, right? Can the Klan. So some of the brothers did get into some fights with them. We were not in Islam at the time, so we were prepared for whatever they brought to us. And it just never came to the point where we just saw, we called them snuff dipping, tobacco chewing, uneducated, only come after you when it's 3, 4, 5 of you against one of us, or a whole clan of you after you get through drinking beer, your whiskey, moonshine. You got to get drunk to get up on the nerve to come after us. That's how we looked at that. So we were good with it. Yes, sir. We were good with that.
Praise be
to Allah. Yes, sir.
Beautiful. Yes, ma'am. Well, Sister Minister, what advice would you give to future mothers?
The future mothers?
Yes, ma'am.
Stop being fearful of anyone but God himself. If you don't know God, get to know him. And I pray that you would get to know him as the God that we know, the creator of the heavens and the earth, the creator himself that created you and I in his image, essence, and his likeness. And because of that, you would fear no one but him. Because I said to my children, after learning Islam the way we did, God gives rewards. The white man or Satan gives awards. They give you a trophy. They give you a plaque to hang on your wall. But I would rather be rewarded for my righteousness, my fearlessness, and for the sake of my children, have some of Madam Young, my mother, instilled in me. The fear was taken out because she didn't give us a chance to fear, I guess. She taught what she knew. And when I always call it tricknology, tricked me to take her to Holly Spring meeting. And from that day forward, I was going and she stopped. But she had a Bible in her car. which was on the driver's side. And she got a Quran from me later on, and she had it on the passenger side. When she left this world at 62, the Bible was on the opposite end, or either on the seat, and the Quran was in front of her, right in front of the steering wheel on the dashboard. So I know if my mother had lived, she would be with me today, 92 years old. And I know for a fact that she did all that she could do, that her children would not fear anyone but God. And if I can instill that to the mothers today, we have to become righteous examples of what our children should become. I heard the minister say once, start teaching them before 6 years old, before the teachers get them into the schools, and start teaching their history, not ours. And if we can do that and get ahead of the game with our children, they're not just killing each other because they hate each other. We do because of the way we were brought up from the study guides, DNA on the plantation, that hatred and envy that is in us. Like we used to say that white children don't come here hating, they are taught. Well, then let's just teach that out of them, our children, and not let them be able to receive that teaching of hating each other enough. But you can do a drive-by shooting and kill a 2-year-old trying to kill a 20-year-old or a pregnant mother, and it seems like you have no heart, no soul. So Satan has done a good job on us. But the mother, it starts with us. It starts with us. It helps the child to grow, but you can also start that child's growth in knowledge, wisdom, and understanding about what we eat and what we think. So it does start with us, Brother Joshua. We have to become the mothers of not just my children, but yours and everybody else's. And it does take a community to raise children or a child. And it can't be hatred in the mothers for a mother. Sisters should learn to love each other and want for one another what we want for ourselves. And until we do that, we're going to keep bringing murderers on the planet because we don't think right and we don't treat each other right. We'll hold a grudge against a Black person until the time they are born, until the time they leave this planet. But we'll love, so-called love, and forgive everybody else. And that's a sign of envy and jealousy right there. More so envy, because when you want someone dead, that's straight up envy. Straight up envy. I would rather see you dead than to have something. So when your child is shot down in the street, I do feel for people like that. Not only empathy, but I have sympathy for people. Because I lost a daughter, as I said, in 2014 shot. And it's just not anything you get over. You think a lot that she lived as long as she did. She left me 7 beautiful grandchildren, they're just about all grown now. But it's just, you just don't ever know what Allah will bring to your table. And you can't curse God. You have to question him in the best of manner. I didn't even ask why, because if you're raising your children properly, you don't have to ask God why things happen. You can ask him, and the minister said the best person to give you the answer is God himself. You might not just knock on the door and say, Sister Patricia, Brother Joshua, I got the answer. If you pay attention, it comes from Allah God, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and the Honorable Minister Sis Farrakhan. That's where your truth comes from. And if we hear it obeyed, I'm not saying we're not going to have hardships and hard times. We're not going to say children are not going to get sick and die. It's not going to happen overnight. 40 years in this. 2 or 3 years before I joined, I was still looking for answers. And when the answer comes, don't fight it. There's no Muslims. It's just Black people trying to make it, trying to make our children see that what they're into is not going to work for them. We try to keep our children from making those mistakes. A 32-year-old child, you can let them go. If they still killing and whatever it is they're doing, selling drugs, whatever it is they're doing, Allah is now speaking. And he's speaking loud. not just the tornadoes and hurricanes and volcanoes overflowing now and fires burning, I mean, burning out. And then when the rain comes to burn out the fire, now you got floods. It's just one catastrophe after another, one after the other. And we still talking about, well, that's God, or that's, what they call that, warming? The earth is warming. What is that warming? The warming. I can't think of the word I'm looking for now.
Global warming.
Global warming. Yes. It's global, all right. Allah is very global. He's working. He's warming it up. He's beating our tails and he's warming up all of us and getting a good beating. All of us. None of us will be left out of this, but I'm praying and hoping that due to submission to God and his Christ, yes, that woman is alive and well, the living, exalted Christ. And we know, the minister cannot be made a liar out of. Stop fighting. To come to get the righteousness on this earth that we need. But it can start with us. It starts with us. And it's going to end with us. But we will always, Brother Joshua, be here. That's the good thing. We won't be in that hell we were taught about as children. Gonna burn forever and that fire never go out. Now that used to be very frightening. I thank Allah that I know and believe what I know and believe today. Once you leave this planet, the soul goes back. But I'm not coming up out that casket out that ground. I heard a tape on the minister, I think 2013. Well, the Fear, Faith, and Truth is not just listen to Fear, Faith, and Truth anyway, 2013, and see what you get.
Yes,
Brother Ishmael did it a few months ago. And I'm telling you, brother, that video, that one right there, if you are dead, you will no longer be dead. Mentally, physically, you ain't coming back. You won't be able to hear it if you didn't hear it before that time. But coming up out this grave, brother, some of us was like, Lazarus just had a napkin over our eyes. Some of us, the minister said, you can go to the cemetery and actually call on one, and that person may get up faster than one of us sitting up talking about we're alive. It's not gonna work like that. Not gonna work. That trumpet is blowing now, and yes, the graves are opening up because our eyes are opening up. We're coming up out of a mental death. And sometimes it's better for some people to be physically dead on this planet, but that's not for me to judge or to talk about what somebody called that person. We what to do. At your young age, brother, look what you're doing. I see you as my son, and I'm waiting on my 47-year-old son, my baby, to come back and help his mother. And I know he will because he's a beautiful young man. And I just know I'm a part of this part of life. I just want to be there. If I don't make it, my is secure. 23 grandchildren, 7 great-grands, and I don't know how many more before I leave this planet, but I know I may not physically have one, but talking to some of these young brothers and sisters that I speak with, and they have joined the nation. Look at the ones that are joining in Atlanta and in Chicago, and we're not even open, but they are joining the Nation of Islam. That's due to somebody, brother, working. That's due to Brother Joshua podcast. That's due to you helping your father, which is helping Sister Patricia. And I love you so much for putting up with me trying to get right with this podcast. It took us a while, but we made it, brother. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Anything I can do to help.
Yes, ma'am. And thank you.
Just, I hope I didn't lose you. You kind of still.
Oh, yes, ma'am. No, yes, sir. We right here, but I just wanted to let you know that we love you and that so many people are showing you love in the comments. I can't wait to put this on YouTube. And I just want to
Oh,
thank
wow.
you again, Sister Minister, let you know that we are grateful for your sacrifice and we're inspired by your powerful words and testimony
Thank
today.
you. Thank you. I just wish I could have been a little bit more, not nervous, but at 71 years young, you and I got time. I pray you'll bring me back when I turned 75 or before.
Oh,
I would have learned how to live a little bit more at 75.
yes, ma'am.
I'm
And
still
I look,
young.
yes, ma'am. And I look forward to interviewing you in person, so the Wi-Fi won't be an issue. So we don't have to worry about that.
Thank you. Just let me know in time so I can have everything that you need from me. I thank you for helping me to make it through being nervous. Thank all of the believers that text you or call you or whatever. And some of the names I think I know, and it could be other names, you know, that most of our people now are getting Muslim names, so it may be other people with those same names. But you thank everybody, and I'm thanking everybody that sent a word of thanks and gratitude. And may Allah continue to bless us all with the best of health and His Spirit. I love you all so much.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, ma'am. This is Joshua Leonard Muhammad signing off for the People's Podcast. Thank you all for watching, and thank you again, Sister Minister. Assalamu alaikum, ma'am.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.